Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video, I'll be covering few of the Linux-based interview questions that were asked to a candidate who is around 1 to 3 years of experience in the IT industry in the past 5 months. So let's jump into the video. So one of the questions that was asked was about swap space in Linux. So what is swap space was the question. So swap space is basically the space which is used by Linux to hold some concurrent running programs temporarily. So this is basically used when the RAM doesn't have enough space to hold all the programs that are executing. So you have many concurrent programs or the processes executing and your RAM doesn't have enough space to hold all the data about all these programs that are executing. So at that point of time, the OS goes back and it just uses something called swap space to hold all the programs that are executing concurrently. So to find what is a swap space, what is the consumption, so you can actually use the commands free, top, and vmstart. So free, you can actually get the output in different formats. It can be in GB, KB, or MB. So you can use free-G, free-K, free-M according to your need. And also you can use stop and vmstart. So all these commands are verified and it works fine. So to show an example, I can actually show you with one of the Linux machines, AWS instances that I've logged in. So if I use the top command, you can actually see what is the percent CPU. So top command basically shows what is the CPU percent. So what are the processes that are running, which user, what process, so how much CPU, how much memory it is being using. So here, if you see, you can see the memory. This is the total memory, how much memory is free, and what memory is used. So in the same way, you can see swap. So there is no swap memory that is consumed at this time because this is a new machine and we are not running any processes in here. So else, you can also use a command vmstart. So vmstart, if you could see below, you can see swapped 0, free is so much, buffer, cache. So all these memory details will be displayed. So you can use all these commands to find the swap memory details. Suppose that one of the questions that was asked is chown command. What is this chown or chown command? Or what is the difference between chown and chmod? These are the two ways these questions are usually asked in the interviews. So chown, as the name suggests, so it is to change the ownership of a file, a directory, or maybe a symbolic link. So you change the ownership. So you give the ownership of a file, a directory, or a symbolic link either to a user or to a group. So for example, so this is a syntax for the chown command. So if you want to change the file ownership, then you write the file name and you write the user for whom you are assigning the ownership of this file to and use chown command. So chown, username, file name. So as an example, so if I want to give the permission for file 1 to a user called Olivia, so I'll be using the command chown Olivia file 1. So which is chown username file name. So this will give the ownership of the file 1 to Olivia. Same way. So under that, if you want to change the owner of the files and directory simultaneously in a single command, you can actually go for using the command chown Olivia file 1 directory 1. So this is, I'm changing the ownership of this file along with that of the ownership of this directory. I'm assigning it to a particular user called Olivia. So she will be the user for the owner for this file and also this directory. So suppose you don't have the username, you just have the user ID. So by using the user ID, if you want to change the ownership of a file called file2, then you can use the command chown. The user ID, UID is 1000 here, 1000. So and the file name. So this would change the ownership of file2 to that particular user. Now, coming to the second one, which is chmod. Chmod is to change the permission for the owner of the file. So already you've got an owner of the file. So if you want to change the permissions, so before getting into chmod, there are three kinds of permissions in Linux. So one is read, the other one is write, and the other one is execute. So this is read is with R. It is symbolically written as R, write is W, and executable permission is represented as X. So chmod, we can actually use this command to change the permission of this file. So if I have a file called if I have a file, so this is syntax. So if you use chmod plus rwx and file name, that means that for this particular file, okay, if suppose it's file name, the name of the file is file name. So for this particular file, you are actually assigning both so all the three permissions, that is read, write, and executable permissions to this file name. So that is plus. So plus indicates you are giving a permission or adding a permission to a file. Here, in the next statement, you can actually see I've written chmod minus or hyphen rwx and the directory name. This is to remove permissions. We use this minus or hyphen symbol before the permissions that we are actually trying to remove. So here I'm basically changing the permissions of this directory. So I'm removing all the permissions to this directory. So read, write, executable permissions are removed from the directory here. Similar way to add only one, that is to add any one of the permissions. Maybe you're adding executable permission alone to the file. You can use chmod plus x file name. If you want to remove something, so you can use hyphen wx file name, which will remove writing and executable permissions to the file. The next question is, what is the maximum length for a file name in Linux? So when you save a file, so what is the maximum length for a file name in Linux? It's 255 characters. Then next, coming on to another topic which is most discussed, is how to create users in Linux and how to create group in Linux and how to add a user who's already created to a group which already exists. So first let us see one by one. So first let's see how to create users in Linux. So to create users, the syntax is user add, some options, and the username. So you can have, just remember, user add username. So if, for example, sudo user add username. So I'm adding a user called Olivia. So that I use this command sudo user add username. So you need sudo executable permissions in Linux to add any users or to create users and to add users and all that. You need sudo permission in Linux. Next, to create group in Linux, you use the similar kind of command. So you use, so for example, that is sudo group add and group names. So sudo group add editorial will create a group called editorial in Linux. Then to add the user to the group. So for example, I have already created a group called editorial and also I have created a user called Olivia. Now I want to add Olivia to editorial group. So at that point of time, you can use the command sudo user mod -a capital G editorial Olivia. So this command will basically add Olivia, the user, to the group editorial. So here -a is actually telling user mod command that we are appending something to something else, and this -g is basically telling user mod that we are appending the group name that is following this option. So this option -g, so following that there is a group name, so we are adding so we are appending something to this group name, so that is why we write -g. Then the next question is to see whether the user is already a part of a group, or if you want to see any information related to the group, you can use the command grep editorial /etc/group. So this will basically grep all the details about your group. So this will list the users that are actually there in this groups. Next is the command to delete the user in Linux. So to delete the user in Linux, we have to use a command called user del, okay, which is user delete and username. You can also use options just like user add. So options can be some things like -f or -force. So this -f or -force, we use this like this. For example, if you're using it as user del -f and username, it will forcefully remove this account. And even if the user is logged in, or if there are some running processes that is belonging to this particular user, even then the user will be removed. The user account will be removed. So if you use -f or -force. Otherwise, you can simply go for using the command user del username. Next, how to create a new file or modify an existing file in VI. So in VI editor, if you want to create a new file or maybe modify an existing file, you can just use the command VI and the file name, which would open the file in an executable and editable mode for you. Not executable, sorry, editable mode for you. And if you want to just see the file, just see the content of any file, then you can use the command cat. Cat file name will actually show you the content of the file. So I've covered basic 8 questions that was asked in the interview. So there are a few more questions that I would actually include in the next coming video. So hope it helps. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a big fat thumbs up if it's really helpful. Thank you.